Is this another one that your mother used to make?
My mother used to make this all the time.
Okay.
Steamed pork with saltfish.
All right. Do you make it yourself now?
Well, the thing is, in the old days, people would buy the pork, and they use a double cleaver to chop it up.
Right.
So I buy this from the store.
You buy the ground pork.
The ground pork.
So you're skipping a step
already.
already.
Yeah, I'm skipping a step already.
Which is a time-consuming step, right? A big one. That's good.
Yeah.
So we can do that too. Yeah. So we have ground pork here. What do we have to do?
You should kind of mix it up a little bit. But I think I should put some. I'll put the ingredients in as you mix it up a little bit.
Go ahead. Put things in. What do we have to do?
First of all, you put these Chinese sausages.
Chinese sausages. Okay.
So you can soak them in water if you like. You want a little more tender. But I put about 2 of these Chinese sausages in there.
So you just chop those up and put them in there?
Yeah.
Okay, got that.
And then you add some oil.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about 1 or 2 tablespoons full.
Okay. You were telling me earlier, though, that your dad is probably going to be watching very carefully to make sure that you do this all correctly.
Yeah.
It's nice that you still have this fear of your dad.
I think he likes his own cooking better than
Really? He's very picky then, is he?
Oh, he's going to be watching this. I shouldn't be
These are your
saying that.
mother's recipes, and your dad is the one who's going to be watching so carefully. Okay, so what else do we have to put in?
Okay, and then you put about a half teaspoon or teaspoon of salt.
Okay, sprinkle that all over there. Good. Now, when you left home originally, right, when you moved out of your parents' house, did you still eat this food, or did you decide I'm going to try everything else in the world now?
I've been eating different kind of foods for a long time, but the thing is, I still go home all the time. My mom still makes this kind of food.
And when you go home, this is what you want, though, isn't it?
This is what she makes, and this is what I like.
Okay, what else do I have to put in here?
In fact, there's only one Chinese restaurant in Vancouver that serves this kind of food, traditional food. It's called the Foos Ho Ho on Pender and Columbia.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the last remaining restaurant that serves this style of food.
And when you say, because this is a very traditional, sort of old-fashioned type of food, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And then put some soy sauce in there.
Let me guess, there's no sweet and sour pork at this particular restaurant?
No. No sweet and sour.
No,
they have that too.
Do they have a different version of that?
Well, it's the early fusion cooking, so they have variations of everything.
Okay, well, that's good.
And just recently, last year, the first time I ever had their duck salad. I've never had that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I should try this restaurant.
That's really good, yeah. And then you just put maybe a tablespoon of cornstarch.
Okay. How are we going to cook this, by the way?
We're going to be steaming this.
Oh, let me turn this water down, because that's what we've got. This sort of, there's just a big pot with water kind of simmering away in there, right? Okay, I'm just going to mix in the cornstarch here. What would you serve this with?
You always serve this kind of food with rice, because when you steam it, the juice comes up. And then you smother your rice with juice.
That sounds pretty good, right?
So usually when I eat about 3 bowls of rice, but when I eat this kind of food, it's about 6 bowls of rice.
Oh, that's tough. That's really tough to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do I have to put in?
Okay, and then the last thing that goes in is the
right on
saltfish.
Top like that? No ginger? We don't have to put the ginger in?
The ginger, like sometimes what the people do is they stir fry the ginger in oil.
Yeah.
And then just pour it on top. But we can just
so
do
you're
it
just
like
going to
this.
sprinkle the ginger on top?
I just do it this way.
Tell me about the salt fish. What kind of fish is that?
There's actually 2 kinds of salt fish, the hard one and the soft one.
Okay.
So the hard one doesn't taste as good, but the soft one has been decomposing for a longer time.
Yummy.
So the more it stinks, the better it tastes.
Well, there's words to live by.
So this one
the more it stinks, the better it tastes.
Yeah. So I would suggest when people eat it, just cover your nose and eat it, and then there's no bias on it. Okay?
Huh. Okay, it's a bit of a leap for people to take. Now, do we put green onions on here
what you
as well?
do, the green onion, you just chop some green onion on top.
Okay.
But I actually have a story about green onions.
You do?
Yeah. When I was young, in kindergarten, grade 1, my mom would give me 2 stalks of green onions, and she would stick it in my jacket pockets.
To walk to school?
I walked to school with stalks of green onion.
And nobody said anything to you?
Well, the kids, they call me mental, but I thought they were telling me how smart I was. Because
you know what? That's a really good way to look at it, by the way.
Because green onions in Chinese, it sounds like smart. Tung, and tung men is smart. So
your mother thought she was giving you a bit of a leg up by giving you green onions.
Yeah, make me smarter, but I don't know.
Brilliant.
I don't know if that helped or not.
It did make you smarter because it gave you a positive outlook too. So do we have to chop green onions?
So the green onions you chop after you steam it. You just chop up some green onions
to put
just on top.
Okay.
So what you do is just chop up some.
Just the green part, right?
Just like that. Just a handful like that. Just put on top after you finish steaming.
And how long will this take to steam?
Usually about half an hour.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit longer. You have to check it just to make sure.
And how many people would this serve?
Normally about 4 people, but for myself, that's one. one serving for myself.
He really likes that dish, I can tell. So, okay, this will serve a couple people with rice, like you say, but part of a larger meal.
Yeah, sometimes you might have 2 or 3 different types of steamed dishes, because there's different types of things you put on meat.
Yeah.
For example, you have the shrimp paste, or the fuyi, which is the bean cake.
That's also stinky.
That's part of the next meal.
That's a stinky one too, though.
Yeah, that's kind of stinky, yeah.
Okay, well, we should take a break then, so we can come back with the fu yi and other great stories that Dan's got for us. So don't go away, more to cover here on City Cooks. So that's on, doesn't take very long at all.